What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Listography. Jason and Joe here today, and we're going to review the new Adele album called 30. It is her fourth studio album. Big release. Probably for most people, one of the bigger releases of the year, certainly in terms of sales. It's one of the biggest, breaking all kind of streaming records and things like that. So big record. I don't know. I've never been a huge Adele fan. I've listened to all of her records. I listen to them out of interest just because I listen to a lot of releases, and her releases are always big news, but usually they're like one or two listens and then I move on. I've never really been a huge fan. How about you?
Well, I had 21 in my top five, nearly a winner for me in 2010, one of those years, whenever it came out. And I don't know, I was kind of disappointed with 25. And I mean, I like Adele. She's never been like one of my favorite, but I always make it a point to listen to, her new release, because they are, monster records as far as sales goes and, interest. I don't know about on our channel so much. I haven't seen too many Adele mentions, but she's one of the more popular music superstars in the world. So what the hell? We'll give 30 a shot. The very imaginatively titled 30. That's how old she is.
Yep. All of her records are named after her age at the time of making them. 19, 21, 25, 30. So this is the longest gap between records. This is also her, I guess, divorce breakup record. Also entering her 30s. So it's kind of a growing up type of record as well. I don't know. Initial thoughts from you?
I was initially underwhelmed. I guess, I don't know, after a 5-year break, I expected a little bit more growth as far as the sound goes. She worked with a lot of the same producers as she did on 25. Greg Kurstin, Tobias Jesso Jr. gets a one. The new producer she works with is from that band Sault, I think is how you pronounce it. Who had some really well-regarded albums last year and this year, named Inflo. And I think his tracks are probably the most interesting. When she works with Greg Kurstin and Max Martin on a couple, like kind of just typical Adele songs, maybe a little less bombastic than she used to be. Not too many like big bangers, nothing really like Set Fire to the Rain or Hello. She kind of downplays that, a little more old-fashioned sound for some modern hip-hop influence a little bit. And I think it's fine. I like the album, but I don't know, it sort of underwhelmed me overall, I think.
I am with you. I think there's a huge discrepancy in how good the tracks are based on the producer. Most of my notes are based on like who produced, and I think the Kurstin tracks are pretty weak. First of all, I'll say that I think the songwriting is pretty solid through the record. I think there's some good songs. I think obviously her vocals are incredible. But I think Kurstin's production kind of neuters Adele a little bit. It's so big and like made for radio. And I get that like she's a massive artist and she needs to have some radio tracks, but I just think these songs in particular are so personal, and I think when it's more intimate and not such a big sound, it works a lot better. The Kurstin tracks don't do much of anything for me. I think the Max Martin track is even worse. I think that song is the worst on the record. That whistling hook is really annoying. But like you said, I think the Inflo tracks are really cool. I would have much preferred the whole record been done in that style. Very interesting, a little bit more mellow, a little more reserved, but with interesting touches like modern techniques that he's using. I don't know exactly what the inspiration is, but it's kind of like a Kanye / James Blake type of thing with a lot of pitched vocals and stuff, which I think is cool. The opening track on the record is produced by Ludwig Göransson, I think is how you pronounce his name. He's done Haim, Chance the Rapper, Childish Gambino, but he also does a lot of film scores. And I think his score or his arranging on that track is really cool. I like that track a lot, Strangers by Nature. the opening track on the record. And the Tobias Jesso Jr. track is good also, I think. Very simple, just piano, vocals, well written. And I think that kind of approach where it's so just stripped down works well for these type of songs. So I think half the record is pretty good, but the Kurstin tracks, he does most of them. He does about half the record. Just don't work nearly as well, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't know who produced. I think he produced a bunch of 25, and then 21, that was a bunch of different people: Ryan Tedder, Rick Rubin, Paul Epworth. And I do miss like a couple of those like obvious kind of up tempo, something like Rolling in the Deep or Rumor Has It, to just give a little liveliness, a little charge to the album. It is a little like prosaic at sometimes, and like all the little like speaking parts in My Little Love, and some of the weird vocal stuff. What is it? Cry Your Heart Out. Like the Kurstin tracks, just I don't know. They kind of are boring. They're not that interesting. There's nothing new. They're not big, bombastic. They're not even that like catchy. So yeah, it's kind of too much repeats, too much what we've already heard from Adele, except for on the Inflo tracks. So it's good. I have it at 3.5 stars, which is sort of that's pretty standard. But it's not gonna make my top 10, and I'll probably not listen to it again. But it keeps me interested in Adele. I'm interested in what she'll do next on 35 or 38 or 40 or whatever she decides to make her next one. So it's fine. It's a fine pop album, but it's not, I've seen a ton of really strong reviews for it. I don't quite get what they're hearing.
Pretty in line. I'm only going 3 stars, but I agree. It's enough to keep me interested going forward. I mean, it's a great sounding record. Even the Kurstin tracks sound really good. I just don't think the production matches the intimacy of the songs. So yeah, it's good, well performed, well written, sounds great, but just not like super interesting or exciting to me. It like doesn't make me want to come back to it over and over again. The most interesting parts, like you said, being the Inflo tracks, but everything else, If you've heard this record, let us know what you think of it down in the comments. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications, and we will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.